Welcome, everyone. Dr. Thor here. Get ready for Gnosis. Well, here's one of these classic books that everybody has to get and read. I believe this has been republished, but you can also get this in used condition. Check your local bookie places to find out if they have this book. Your Body Doesn't Lie by Dr. John Diamond, who apparently is an MD. This is really a great way to actually find out what's happening in your body using the classic technique, which is just amazing, called muscle testing. Now, muscle testing is quite fascinating when you get into it. And I don't know, I'm not sure how many people are still into this. In terms of, it's been around for many, many years. This book was originally, let's see when this originally came out. I believe this is in the 70s. This actually is an old used version. You can see how it's starting to get a little bit of yellowing here. Let's see when this edition came out. Okay, 1979, this was first published. This edition of this book was published in 1992. But it's readily available, and look it up. I got a paperback size of this. This is more of a larger book. Recently, I believe that you can find this in the usual places, Amazon, eBay, etc., ABE. These are great places to find rarer books. But muscle testing is very easy to do and very profound, and you can test everything. And here's your classic muscle testing. So, you basically have a person stand with generally their arms by their side, and then they put out this is the left arm of this woman, and they put that straight out by the side of your body. Now, you don't really have to touch the person like they're saying here, but this is what he does to kind of steady himself, to get a little more force. And then you can ask them anything. Now, let's say her name is Mary. And you ask her and you say, well, don't tell me your name, tell me a fake name. So if she says her name is Martha, and you press down on here, her arm will not stay rigid. This is the amazingness about muscle testing. Then if you ask her what's your name and she tells you her real name and you press down on there, it will be strong. So basically, this is quite amazing. Now, you can also do this with everything. So it just shows you that thoughts and everything else. Now, it's even been shown that if you have somebody who stands behind this person and sends them negative thoughts, and you ask them a question that is correct, that their arm will go on. Their negative thoughts can affect the person by standing behind them alone, just by sending negative thoughts, which is quite fascinating, showing proving the fact that your psychic energies, your biophysical energies, can affect another person. Well, this is groundbreaking. This is mind-blowing. This is all the stuff that you don't hear from the bogus scientists who are living in their fantasy world of basically nonsense, which is being perpetrated by an entire institution known as a university, MIT, Caltech, who put together lying garbage to keep the same thoughts going that basically is crimes against humanity, because we never really get anywhere. There's been no breakthroughs in science in a very long time. There's nothing really new coming out, and the big collider and everything else has showed us nothing. Yet stuff like this is not properly researched. And we have people who communicate science stuff, and they're communicating garbage to us that is worthless, that at the very least produces nothing. I'm afraid those days are over with as times get tougher and tougher, as we have a pending of possibly the destruction of most of the planet and returning us to caveman days. We don't know. We have more research to do. These people should be put on trial as traitors. Period. Those days are over. It's about time those who do everything in this world, from predicting the weather to making important pharmaceuticals, that if they don't produce, that they are traitors, and maybe there should be a price beyond firing. Maybe these people should pay the ultimate price for their incompetency in letting society down. I think we'd have a lot more discoveries that way, don't you? So, I mean, that's your classic thing. You can do that to anybody. So what the other thing you do is you have the person hold something in this hand. Let's say a supplement. And you can ask them, or you can, and then they can hold it in the hand, or they can take the whole bottle in that hand, press it against the center of their chest, what I like to do, and you can test, is this good for the person? Then you can go down to how many tablets should they take? How many drops should they take? Whatever it may be, and you keep doing the arm method until you get a strong arm. What's interesting is you can do this with all types of foods and everything else, and generally anybody who puts a drop of sugar on their tongue, their arm flops to their side instantly, because that's how bad sugar and certain things are for people. So this is amazing, and it doesn't matter your physical strength or not. You can take very strong, muscly boneheads, and their arms are, their muscles can't stay up. And this is always a fun thing to do with people, to prove that. Because you can take a symbol and put it on their chest, and they will be unable to keep their arm up. They're just weakened by that. So it's very, very interesting. Now, this goes into a lot of things, and of course, it tests the thymus and other things, which is a big area in the 70s where people are having problems with. But the book goes into this easy-to-read book. It's not, how many pages is it? Let's see here. Yeah, it's only 125 pages on top of it, which is nice. You know, books should be short and get to the point and give you practical information, like the books that I make, which are talismanic books and have actual symbols inside of them that you view that empower you. That's called knowledge and empowerment, not books like this. Of course, this has a lot of nice illustrations and other things that one of the better books to demonstrate things. And here we go. Here's another view from the other side. As I said, you can put your hand on the person's shoulder like that. It's kind of stabilizing it. And that allows you to put more direct pressure. But again, you're not pushing the arm down. You're just, what I usually do is use two fingers like this and just press down on the hand. You're not using muscles to do it. You're seeing if their muscle stays strong or weak. So it's not a muscle against muscle thing. And a lot of people object to the fact, thinking you're doing something when you put the hand in here. So I don't even do that. I usually just put two fingers like this onto the person's hand and push down on it lightly. You're not, so that's all part of it. And here's another little picture showing you how that person is, I guess, at the wrist there. Here's some machines that are supposed to pick it up. Now, I've tried some of these machines and have not been very happy with them, particularly this type of machine. Now, there are muscle testing machines like this, where you use your whole arm. I had one that you pressed together, and similar to one of those exercise things for your hands, and you would press them together, and this would, you would use that. I find those don't work well, people. They just don't work well. It's hard to get a good reading with that, because if you're a person who is relatively strong or even weak, you can't get good readings with it. I was using substances to weaken myself, but I was able to overcome them by doing that because you're using some big muscles in here and shoulder and everything else. Not a good idea. So again, there's several pictures here. You can see this is the way it's done. Your life energy. So it goes into, it's very good as how it explains things. And he's very much into the thymus and how this affects your entire life. Stress and cerebral balance. And he shows you how to balance things, how to, again, muscle test. What she's doing is drawing energy from this area so it can be tested. And there are many ways to get energy into the body and then use the body like it's used in scalarionics, radionics. You're a giant meter. Your body's the best meter that there is out there, especially with a little training. You have all these nerve ends, all these billions and billions of energies that's going through you, the auric fields and everything else. All of these serve as a giant meter. Anything that comes into you, you sense. Now, what you do with it or how that affects you is another story, depending on what it is. Let's see if there's anything else in here. But talk about ways of fooling the body. And that is something that, I've talked about this in my Cult Secret book, that you always want to smile when you do something. This creates an entire energetic field in your body that's positive. It releases all sorts of good chemicals. And again, if you smile, you can and think good thoughts, your arm stays strong. Think bad thoughts, it doesn't. So it just shows you how your thinking can empower and weaken you, and how people standing next to you, beside you, can weaken it as well. This is very important for all those people that think, well, there's no proof to psychic power or anything else. Then why, when you send psychic energy to somebody in a negative fashion or something she doesn't like? So if a person doesn't like, bacon, and you think bacon behind her, when she's muscle tested, asking about things she likes, she will go weak. Very, very interesting. So all of this has been proven. This is all the stuff that goes on. He goes into all sorts of things here, which are really fascinating. Pictures, what they're generating in your mind. Here's the classic pictures from the 70s, the posters, except think how your physical environment affects you, how different symbols affect you. Here's, the sun sign. This is your classical one, spinning in a clockwise. This would be counterclockwise. It's a classic old symbol, which of course was stolen like everything else that those people steal. The energy in your food. So a really great book. Try and find this. I'm sure you can probably get this at a discount somewhere, or get it online at eBay, etc. Get a used copy of it. What is this? This is $12.95, but this was an Australian edition for some reason. I'm not sure how I got that, but whatever. Very, very important book to have. This is a critical training that you should have if you're dealing with any of the kind of subject matters that we deal with, as well as learning how to use pendulums, and is critical. Getting a few pendulums. We have these that we sell. This is a great one for everybody as a beginner. I'm going to be offering this soon. This is a really nice one. Again, the bulbous part here, this ball, seems to be very important to pick up energies. And of course, this has a long shaft here to pick up energy, and of course a ball as well. And I'm getting into a lot of wooden pendulums, because I like the fact of how light they are. Now these are very, very light, but it has a huge area to pick up energies with. Well, these are much smaller. And if you get a huge pendulum of this size that's metal or stone, it's too heavy. If you use this rosewood, you're getting all this surface to pick up energies with, and it's still very, very light. And when you get further along in pendulum work, you will find your sensitivity is growing, and using heavy stuff is working kind of against you. And there are many, many pendulums out there. We offer some. We try and offer only a few, because that's what's... instead of having lots that confuse people, and we have those up there, and we're going to be adding. We have wood ones up there. We have this metal one up on our website. And of course, we're going to be adding this soon. So with that, remember to like and subscribe, people. Very important. Make sure you support us on Patreon for our minimum amount a month. You'll get all sorts of bonuses, free stuff. You'll hear about what's going on that we no longer put on YouTube. You'll get the latest and greatest of what's happening with the organization. And there's just so much that you're going to get more on Patreon that we don't no longer show here. And that will be increasing to the fact that very little will go up on YouTube as we move everything over to more friendly places. And of course, if you want to hear about the world and what's going on, that's not being shared here any longer to any great extent. That's all going to be on Patreon. So be part of the world. We're very dangerous times now, and it's organizations and me, myself, that are going to be a major player in the fact of what happens to the society with the new tech that's coming out. So be supporting of those people that are doing the good work. Until next time.